welcome to another exciting episode of the $1 Million Peddlers. I'm Paperboy.
And I'm Mr. Magazine.
I have a question for you, Mr. Magazine.
Okay.
Somebody comes up to you that you're talking to, and there's some sort of a dealer of some sort, and they've got a fair amount of stuff, or say that they've got a fair amount of stuff, and they say, hey, I've got some stuff to sell you, whatever, sports cards, sheet music, whatever it happens to be.
Okay.
And they're giving you a fair price on it. You know, magazines say.
Okay.
You know, they've got 150 magazines and they want $200 delivered for them, and they're decent enough magazines. Do you, Mr. Magazine, generally, what do you do in a case like that?
They're out of state?
Yeah, they got to send them to you, whatever the case is, yeah.
Oh, as far as like payment?
No. Do you negotiate, I guess is what I'm getting at. And why?
99% of the time, they don't know what they want, or they do and they're not telling me, so I just have to tell them, hey, and especially if it's something like magazines, I have to explain to them, so they don't get insulted, that I buy these by the truckload, and you might find them for more on eBay.
And check that video if you haven't already seen, so the biggest haul we've ever gotten.
That's true.
By the 3 truckloads.
That's right. Third one just came in. I'll explain to them before I give them a price that, hey, we buy these all the time. We have a lot in stock. This is what we paid, no matter who brought them in at this point, or we paid in the past. And then I'll tell them, $1.50 delivered, or $2, whatever it is.
I guess I'm coming at it. I guess you've misunderstood a little bit there what I was asking. It's a dealer, so it's somebody that kind of knows that knows that it's not a civilian seller. It's a dealer. So they tell you a price, and it's not great, not terrible. It's a reasonable price. Say you usually pay $1.50 a magazine on these over here. They're telling you they have a lot more. They've got 100 of them and they want $200 plus shipping. Do you offer them the 150 or do you pay the 200? And if so, why?
I think now, they just got 150,000 magazines in. I don't need to buy them unless it's something. If it's something rare or something hot and I don't have it or something, it's a different story. But if it's run of the mill times from the 50s and 60s and 70s or TV guides or whatever, I certainly would offer my same price that Joe Schmo comes in out the in the front door or whatever, because why would I pay someone else more when that's my norm for me, unless I really needed something. So
and that's where you and I are different. Assuming the price is not unreasonable. Obviously they want $800.
Right.
Thank you. It's thank you for the offer. We'll move on, but thank you. But assuming it's on the upper end, maybe even just a touch above what I usually pay on it, I would pay it. Because my thought is they're a dealer and they've promised that they've got much more available of different kinds of things. And so my thought is, all right, I sit there and I argue with them and I save myself $40 when everything is said and done, versus, wow, Paperboy is super easy to deal with. And obviously I watch out for myself all the time on the deals as well. Obviously if they've got something that I absolutely have no interest in, I'm sorry, I do appreciate you bringing it, but there's nothing that I want.
Right.
But otherwise, I look at it that it's worth paying a little bit. I think the key word is a little bit.
I do agree in certain instances. For example, the guy says he's got magazines and a whole garage full of magazines. I am going to offer him a little less because I want to keep that precedent of this is what I'm paying. Because if I pay high now, he's expecting me to pay high every time. However, the guy goes, oh yeah, I'm in the corner of my garage. I got all these old, Star Wars figures. I got this, I got that. Well, it's a different story. Then I'm going to pay a little more to get him to come back to me. So it does depend on what he's selling, what else he has, and so forth. Okay,
yeah. See, and I guess I'm not even looking at the what else he has as far as other types of stuff. I guess I'm looking at it that, it's a guaranteed supply of stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll sell me 100 magazines a month, and as long as he runs them by me and it's not all of a sudden, wait a minute, you're selling me 1995 Smithsonians, we need to talk.
Yeah.
As long as it's all sellable stuff for me and stuff that I enjoy, I guess I look at it, and maybe this is just because of the way that I pick my merchandise up versus the way that you do. You tend to be at your store and people come by.
Yeah.
I tend to run out there. Not that you don't go on house calls, which certainly you do, but I tend to hit the fleas. I tend to run out there. I tend to do a lot more running around.
Right.
So I guess the way that I look at it is, say I'm paying 50 cents extra on 100 magazines, let's just say.
Yeah.
So I'm paying $50 more. For me to drive to the flea market, find them, drive back, when you start adding the time for driving down, driving back, and the gas and all of that stuff,
Right.
all of a sudden I'm looking at it going, I basically am paying the same as I would if I drove to the flea market,
Right.
all in on the stuff.
Sure.
And now I've got the stuff that'll be coming to me every month,
Yeah.
as opposed to me having, it's like a guaranteed supply chain.
Sure.
Is kind of the way that I look at it. Whereas if I negotiate and I'm like, geez, you want $200? I was thinking more like $75. I mean, he might move the stuff to me just because he wants the stuff gone.
Yeah, and that's it.
But exactly. He does it one time, maybe a second time when he picks up a bunch of stuff.
Unless he's got junk he can't move to anyone else, then you're his last resort. Like, hey, I know he'll give me at least this for it, when it comes to for that.
Or even then, maybe he'll move the things that he finds to me within the course of other buys. But he's not out there seeking the stuff out.
Right.
Whereas if he knows that I'm going to be giving him $2 a piece on these things, he's going to say, geez, I can check for magazines while I'm out there as well, because. So it's just kind of a different way. But we're also in different places as far as, I don't need anything either. But you've got 150,000 magazines recently. How many magazines would you guess that you still have unlisted from the Ohio Hall?
We've been getting down there, but I got to say 10, 20,000. We're down.
Oh, you are down, but
We've
still.
listed a lot. I mean, thanks to the lister that's listing in bulk. But yeah, maybe 20,000 left, if that.
But still, that's 20,000
Yeah.
on top of it. Plus, you've probably got another 50,000 magazines around unlisted
And
at least.
sadly, it's probably more adult that's not listed just because the international Playboys.
Right,
So,
right.
But yeah, it's all good stuff. So
Yeah, so you've got a couple of 100,000 items unlisted. Well, you got many, many more than that, but you got a couple 100,000 magazines unlisted anyway.
Right, yeah.
So you absolutely don't need anything whatsoever. But yeah, I guess the point that I wanted to bring up to people, and I wanted to see how Mr. Magazine felt about it. Again, there are people out there, and Mr. Magazine, God rest his soul, was related to one of them, who every single time absolutely needed to get the upper hand in a deal or feel that he did.
A lot
There
of
are
people like that.
people like that out there.
That mailman I deal with every now and then.
Yeah, they always feel they have to get the upper hand. For whatever reason, that's not how I'm wired. I'm just wired. You flip stuff to me for $5 each, and I can get $30 each out of it, and it's going to sell. Great.
Yeah.
I'm not going to beat you down to $4.50 a piece because what difference does it make?
Yeah.
Really. But that's the way that I'm wired. Which again, not everybody is wired that way. But I just kind of wanted to say, we've done it before, the videos, and they're absolutely true, where you don't get a second chance to make a first impression. As long as a deal is okay the first time through, and there's the promise that he can bring more, and you have reason to believe him, of course.
Yeah.
My suggestion would be don't necessarily negotiate, and I understand your position again is you don't want to be paying more than you need to pay all the time for deal after deal after deal after deal.
Especially if it's stuff that we already have, 5 of every Life magazine, 5 every time. Why am I paying a premium for ones that I already have that we're not or they're already listed, but we don't even have duplicates listed.
Right.
So.
Yeah, so kind of wonder what your thoughts about that are. Would really love to hear how much negotiating you do on things, especially if it's somebody new that you just met, that there's the opportunity for a continuing relationship. Because I think that makes a big difference.
Sure.
A one-off is different than a continuing relationship, in my opinion, on that stuff over there. So do comment down below and let us know exactly how you handle that sort of thing. And if you could also hit the like button, we'd greatly appreciate it. And we will see you next video.
Take care. Bye-bye.